It's the rematch of last year's playoff upset in Carolina, and Arizona looking to continue to give Jake Delhomme problems here in the 2009 season. Jason Horowitz, NFL.com's Pat Kirwan. Glad to be with you on the NFL Preview Show presented by Tyson Anytizers. And Pat, you know, the issues for Jake Delhomme really started in that playoff game. 5 picks, 6 total turnovers, and that's continued here. 13 interceptions this season. The Panthers, worst in the NFL with 21 giveaways. How do they change that this week against this Arizona defense, which is all over the field right now?
I talked to John Fox about it. Very tough decision for him to make, and he's decided he's going to go with Jake, and everybody knows that. But the follow-up question I asked him was this: how are you proportioning out your practice reps this week? Because typically a guy like Jake would get 90% of the reps, and the backups would get a few reps at the end of the practice. I think you're going to see a shift where there's going to be some extra practice reps for Moore and AJ to see which one of those can handle it. And I think it's in preparation to pull him at halftime if he has another bad first half.
Matt Moore and AJ Feely, the backups there. The problem, Pat, for me isn't necessarily, yes, it's a problem that he's throwing interceptions. You got to look at the play calling. 44 passes last week for Jake Delhomme, and D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart combined for 23 rushing attempts. This week you're going up against the league's number one rush defense. Can you switch that back so you're running the football a lot more?
They will, in typical John Fox fashion, they'll get back to their running game. They're not going to be intimidated by the Arizona Cardinals being number one against the run. Look, go back and look at this roster. The Carolina Panthers have 4 wide receivers on the roster, and they don't have a vertical threat tight end. So to throw the ball 44 times with that group of what I'd call receivers, tight ends, etc., not enough talent there. They have a tremendous offensive line, and they're going to be in an away game in a hostile environment with an explosive offense. They will run the ball 35 to 40 times, mark my words.
All right, a very impressive win last week for Arizona. Going to New York, winning on Sunday night 24-17. The defense forcing 4 turnovers, Pat. This defense is starting to look like the one that got them to the Super Bowl last season.
There's no doubt about it, and I've talked about Calais Campbell on this show before. He's not going to be the name that's going to get all the recognition, but he's a force inside. Darnell Dockett, hard to block. They have good linebackers that can blitz. They got to Eli 3 times. They had 3 interceptions. They're very aggressive on defense. They got the Pittsburgh Steeler mentality in total now, and Kenny wasn't excited about it. They will cause problems here. If they can get Carolina where they have to play catch-up, watch out, because they'll tee off and go get Jake.
And they've gotten teams to do that. That's what happened to Seattle 2 weeks ago, and then they played well last week against the Giants. Now, Pat, this is not a running football team. We know that. We know Arizona. But Beanie Wells showed some signs of life last week as the reason they drafted him in the first round. You've got Tim Hightower. If those guys can hang on to the football, which has been an issue,
it is.
Can this become a team that's very balanced?
Well, their definition of balance is going to be 60% pass, 40% run. And I've talked to Wizenhunt Kenny many times about this. Here's what he's looking for, and here's why he took a first-round pick on a running back. He knows when he gets the lead, he needs a 4-minute drill offense. He needs to chew clock. You cannot be just a pass team in those situations. You'll be 3 and out. You'll have stopped the clock with 2 incompletions, so he needs a 4-minute offense. He also knows the field's reduced down in the red zone, especially inside the 10-yard line where you can't run a lot of routes. And he doesn't have a big tight end that he goes to. This is all about the wide receivers. They're an open field pass attack. The running game has to come alive from there. There's a commitment to it, but you're never going to see it near 50-50.
Couple of injuries to pay attention to for this week for Arizona. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, who left last week
he's
against New York,
go.
and he's going to attempt to. And Anquan Bolden still battling that ankle injury. Now, he played the whole Giants game, but you could very well see
starting to wear him down.
Yeah,
you
could see he's having a really hard time running routes right now, and we saw that, so we'll see what happens this week. Who you like, Carolina or Arizona?
Well, I like Arizona at home. They've lost 2 games at home, but I think they're really coming around. The win last week told me a lot, but also missing probably for Carolina is their free safety, Godfrey. You don't want to be missing your free safety against this passing attack. I'll take Arizona by 10 points.
And I'll take Larry Fitzgerald to have a much bigger day than Steve Smith on the other side. It's 4:15 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. For more on this game, stay right here with CBSSports.com. That'll do it for the NFL Preview Show presented by Tyson Anytizers, the meaty Good Man Snack. For Pat Kirwan, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.